This is an NBC News special report. Here's Lester Holt.
Good day, everyone. We're coming on the air to bring you the latest of the confrontation between the U.S. and Iran over Iran's shoot-down this week of a U.S. Air Force surveillance drone that Iran claimed had violated its airspace, a claim the U.S. denies. Last night, President Trump called off a planned retaliatory strike at the last minute. And just a few minutes ago, he explained that decision in an exclusive interview with Chuck Todd for this Sunday's Meet the Press.
So did you greenlight something, or had you said, if we do it, I'll do this? What was the order you gave?
Nothing is greenlighted until the very end because things change, right?
So you never gave a final order?
No. But we had something ready to go subject to my approval. And they came in, and they came in about a half an hour before. They said, sir, we're about ready to go. I said, I want a better
planes
definition.
In the air? Were planes in the air?
We're about ready to go.
Yeah?
No, but they would have been pretty soon. And things would have happened to a point where you wouldn't turn back or couldn't turn back. So they came and they said, sir, we're ready to go. We'd like a decision. I said, I want to know something before you go. How many people will be killed? In this case, Iranians. Mm-hmm. I said, how many people are going to be killed? Sir, I'd like to get back to you on that. Great people, these generals. They said, came back, said, sir, approximately 150. And I thought about it for a second. I said, you know what? They shot down an unmanned drone, plane, whatever you want to call it. And here we are sitting with 150 dead people. That would have taken place probably within a half an hour after I said, go ahead.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. I didn't think it was proportionate.
President Trump in an interview a short while ago with our Chuck Todd. Let me bring in Hallie Jackson right now at the White House. Hallie, in that same interview, the president acknowledged he was getting pressure from some quarters to go ahead with military action.
Which wouldn't be surprising, Lester, given there are some in his administration who have taken a more aggressive position on how to deal with and respond to Iran, including some of the president's closest allies on Capitol Hill. This is a notable interview for a number of reasons. The president, again, seems to be trying to turn down the temperature somewhat, trying to give Iran a way to help cool things down in a region that has become increasingly volatile for a while, but especially since those attacks on several oil tankers in the Gulf of Oman. So the president is doing that while at the same time not ruling out some kind of retaliatory military action that is, and you heard him in this interview here talk about the importance of this, proportionate. So something, and again, remember, Iran had shot down this unmanned surveillance drone over this critically important waterway, the Strait of Hormuz. So it is potentially possible now that the United States military could carry out some kind of a response that is more proportionate, that does not include the loss of life that you just heard the president talk about is such a concern to him. Notably here, the president talked about giving the green light or not giving the green light here, that nothing had been ordered to move forward, and he pushed back on some reporting that had emerged overnight in the New York Times that planes were in the air, ships were in position and ready to go. You heard the president say that was not the case, but they were just minutes away in his telling. 30 minutes here, 10 minutes in his tweet earlier from making that happen, essentially. I have to tell you, Lester, it is worth noting here how remarkable it is to hear details like this from the commander-in-chief so soon after one of the most important national security missions that United States military could undertake, military operations overseas. And here we have nearly in real time, some 18 hours after the president first initiated the conversations about this, a nearly blow-by-blow retelling from the president to Chuck here on his thinking how this went down. Many in Washington are watching this closely, but you know who else is watching this closely, Lester, and that is the Iranian regime, looking for clues and hints as to what President Trump may do next.
Yeah, and surprising, I suppose, that the issue of casualty numbers would have come up so late in the planning. All right, Hallie, thanks. Let's go to our chief foreign correspondent, Richard Angle. He's reporting from Doha, Qatar. And Richard, I know the Iranians continue to put forward what they say is evidence that that aircraft was shot down in their territory.
So the Iranians today put forward more of so-called evidence. They were showing pieces of the drone that they say washed up into their waters. They say that's more evidence that the drone was shot down where they say it was. They claim it was not shot down, as the Pentagon insists, in international waters, 20 miles off of the Iranian coast, but much, much closer. And the Iranians are struggling a little bit to figure out how to react to President Trump. They have got him to escalate, and I think the Iranians wanted President Trump to escalate because we've seen a slow escalation over the last several months with more U.S. sending more troops to the region, several attacks on tankers, then this latest escalation with a drone shot down. But now you saw the president pulling back. Several officials I've spoken to think that the president looked, frankly, very presidential in this moment, not going with some of his more hawkish advisors, sounding quite thoughtful, reasonable, looking at the options, deciding that this wasn't the best option. And then you saw the Iranians trying to match this. The Iranians today came out and said they weren't the only ones who showed restraint, that they had, while they shot down the drone, they also had an American aircraft in their sights, which they could have targeted and killed dozens of Americans. But they, too, were magnanimous and decided not to shoot it down. So the Iranians are struggling to figure out how to react to a president who one day is very hardline and very hawkish, and then another time almost wears his heart on his sleeve and says that he didn't want to do it in order to show restraint.
Richard Engel. Richard, thank you very much. And the president's comments about the situation with Iran, just part of that broad-ranging interview that Chuck Todd conducted with him. You'll see that interview. It'll be broadcast this Sunday on Meet the Press. We'll continue to watch developments in all this. I'll be back with complete details tonight on NBC Nightly News. For now, I'm Lester Holt, NBC News, New York. Good day.